Almost every day, someone is charged with a crime against a disabled person. Half are violent crimes. This is David Askew, who collapsed and died after years of torment from people in his neighbourhood. This is Brent Martin, a trusting 23-year-old with learning disabilities. He was punched, kicked and stripped half naked by people he called friends. They left him like this. He died in hospital. And this is Michael Gilbert, who was kept as a slave for 10 years before he was murdered and dismembered. Fiona Pilkington committed suicide and unlawfully killed her daughter Francesca, unable to bear another moment of persecution. No one knows how many more people are suffering in silence. All these people have suffered abuse in their own homes, within their own society, with people who they thought were their friends. There are 1.5 million people with a learning disability in the UK. 9 out of 10 will have experienced abuse. So far this year, 21 disabled people have been killed.
Oh my God! Someone just come and put my window through in my house.
Someone broke your window?
Yeah. We've had the worst time of our lives in the last couple of months.
I'm thinking that if the day comes I can't manage, my daughter and I will go together.
I feel scared, shaky, like a leaf.
I'm Rosa Monkton. I have a daughter with Down syndrome, and I campaign to bring about change for people with learning disabilities. Last year, I made a film about the issues faced by parents of disabled children. I was shocked at the extent of hate crime against them. Intolerance and brutality seem to have become commonplace in their world, and I want to explore why we allow this to happen. While making the first film, I met Asha and her sons. Garen's elder brother, Callum, has cerebral palsy and needs 24-hour care. Garen helps look after him.
Not easy, is it, for you?
No, it's not really easily.
When I spent time with him alone, I became acutely aware of how the hostility of others towards his brother's disability is making his life impossible.
What's the hardest thing?
Trying to help my mum sometimes, it's really hard.
Because actually, what you want more than anything else is for your mother to be looking after you rather than you looking after her, don't you?
Yeah.
As we make our way back to Garen's house, a gang of local children hurl verbal abuse.
And do they all live around here? You just have to ignore them, don't you?
I was shocked at what Garen has to put up with on a daily basis. How's life on the estate? How's it for you, Garen? No.
It's okay, it's getting a bit better, but it still keeps on going, doesn't it, Mum?
We tried to get out a bit, well, haven't we? You tried to walk home the other day and got abuse.
But
so he doesn't want to walk home anymore.
well,
I got hit. That was the worst thing that happened to me for a long time.
punched
Garen's only got punched 3 times.
in the street. And that was just only our side of our house, wasn't it, Mum?
And that was really horrible.
And did you know the people who did it?
Yeah.
So we live basically like prisoners. We live our whole life either in the house or completely away from the estate.
And how's Garen? How's life at school? Is that any better?
No, not really, it's still hard. I find it extremely hard still. Don't know.
We had a lot of problems last year. What kind of things they say to you again?
They say I have a spastic brother and stuff like that. It's just nasty stuff.
The abuse started within weeks of them moving into the area 4 years ago. There were known antisocial families on the estate who targeted Asha and her children. Things got so bad, Asha set up a CCTV camera on the house to catch them in the act. She also kept a video diary. After Asha and a group of residents gave evidence in court, the family causing most of the problems was evicted. Just 3 days later, her car tyres were slashed. A month after that, someone stoned her car, and in Christmas 2008, a brick was hurled through the window.
You can see the brick there, and you can see here that they have smashed the telly. I'll tell you that we got for Christmas. Look at the glass down here. And that's my little boy there. He's very shocked and very upset. Couldn't believe it.
Totally pissed off.
Garin, please don't use bad language. Very, very broken community. They just seem to be sort of us and them. You know, a brick through someone's window and a car being smashed up is not a big deal around here. It's just how it goes.
These kind of crimes can be dismissed by the authorities as low-level antisocial behaviour, yet the daily reality can be unbearable. Every week there are news reports of so-called low-level incidents which later develop into more violent and sinister crimes.
How old is Callum?
14. We have to live with a situation whereby you never know if they're having a bad day. Are they drunk? Are they going to kick off? Is Garin going to be all right? What happens as he walks down the road? Are they going to have him?
After 4 years of campaigning, all Asher has managed to achieve is 3 antisocial behaviour orders. As a single mother with a disabled son, she's a soft target. And it's clear how all this makes Garin feel.
Depressed. Upset. Angry.
Can't give in.
No.
You can't. Because you know what? They win. You mustn't let these people win.
No.
You're so strong, Garin. You'll find the strength.
I'm not.
You are. You are.
Not strong.
Asher has been brave enough to stand up to the abusers. The families concerned may have been evicted, but she still faces trouble from others on the estate. 10 days after I left, Asher had another incident. Someone hurled stones at her house and jumped on a neighbour's car. The 18-year-old responsible has been ordered not to come anywhere near Asher or the estate for 2 years.
Good. Does it taste all right, even though it looks a bit strange?
My daughter Domenica is 15. She has learning difficulties which make her vulnerable, particularly to what's now termed mate crime, being taken advantage of by so-called friends. As she gets older, I've got to plan for what happens to her when Dominic and I are dead. By then, she needs to be living in a place where she is protected and can make friends.
Over my face. Sometimes I'll be dancing and it's really good. I perform with just an accent and my mom may see me. And my mom said I was pretty good.
For the past few decades, the trend has been towards care in the community, but I have real concerns about how that works in practice. Someone who's living in the community and having real problems is Christopher Burke. He has a condition called hydrocephalus, more commonly known as water on the brain. This means he has a learning difficulty, and physically he does look different. It's made him a victim of constant hate crime, leaving him isolated, vulnerable and scared. Yet Christopher could read when he was 2, has 17 qualifications in IT and a passion for music.
Is computers. I can build them, repair them, program them, and I loved writing music for years now, except the problem I always had was mixing it, and Hastings being about 10 years behind the rest of the world, there are no music mixing classes for anyone over 25. So, believe it or not, I had to go to Shoreham, which is like 3 hours away. When we had one lesson so far, and this is my first homework piece.
Christopher is 46. 20 years ago, he moved with his family to Hastings. In those days, it was a place where councils rehoused people displaced by the rapid development of inner London. Today, it has a high concentration of unemployed, poor and vulnerable people.
Hastings dumps on it I do my shopping in Eastbourne because if you go shopping in Hastings and there's people around looking for money, they get the change off you one way or another. In Hastings, they're all on drugs and drink, all looking for somebody to have a go at. I feel I have to be on my guard all the time, just in case anything happens.
Every time he goes out, Christopher makes sure he has a pocket full of change. It's almost like paying protection money to people he knows just to get down the street.
Where have you just come from? Oh, just
As he walks by the beach, a man steps out and confronts Christopher. He asks him for money.
Please, come on.
This is a normal occurrence for Christopher, and he knows from experience that if he refuses, he'll be open to attack.
Not the same people. Well, no, I'm not. That bloke with the orange beard, I had to give him three quid to get past him.
What's the matter, Chris? Is it making you scared?
No, it's nothing to do with that. It's just I just see myself spending my whole life here, and when I'm walking around Hastings, there's a sheer frustration of it all just gets to me.
We've all got used to being harassed for change. The difference is that for Christopher, this is like a daily mugging. And it hasn't been any better in the homes he has lived in. Christopher has, in the last 8 years, been rehoused 5 times due to abuse from his neighbours and people around him. After being burgled and intimidated in his previous flats, he was rehoused into sheltered accommodation. It's not ideal for Christopher, as all the other residents are elderly.
Hi.
Christopher,
Pleased to
hello,
meet you.
I'm Rosa.
Pleased to meet you.
How do you do? Thank you for letting me come and see you.
Okay.
Christopher, would you mind if I took off my shoes and sat curled up? I'm sort of happier talking that way. Is that all right?
So, yes, lovely toenails.
Oh, thank you very much. Very observant. Thank you. How long have you lived here?
A year and a half.
So where did you live before that?
Before I was in St Leonard's. That area of St Leonard's is all drugs and alcoholics. While I was working in Seaview, I used to work in there voluntarily. A girl came in and shot boiling water all over me.
Ah!
That's both legs.
That is terrible.
It like that. That's after about 5 skin grafts.
Oh dear Lord.
That was 3 months in the East Grinstead Burns unit.
What happened to your head there?
That was a couple of months well, about 6 weeks ago. Bloke that outside cost cutters.
It's terrible.
And he had chunky rings on, and he just smacked my head with the chunky rings on. How I lost my teeth was, a bloke comes up to me and goes, "What's it like being a retard then?" And so I went to him. That's what I was about to ask you the same thing. And he pushed me, so I fell over, and he stomped my face with Brent Martin's on.
Oh, Christopher, your life. The girl who burnt his leg was given a short prison sentence. The other 2 attackers were never caught. Although he shouldn't have to live in sheltered accommodation, the council consider it to be the safest option. Living here simply compounds his isolation, and going outside leaves him vulnerable. Abuse of people with learning difficulties is not confined to areas of urban deprivation. This is Kakuma, a beautiful town which a year ago survived devastating floods. It's a close-knit community. You'd think it would be a safe place for someone like Kelly Cowperthwaite, but it's not. She was born with a chromosomal imbalance. This means she finds it difficult to understand things and to express herself clearly. Her learning disability has left her with few friends, so she spends most of her time on her own. Aged 37, she lives in her own flat, although her parents are nearby.
Have you come